Luxury travel is evolving faster than ever before. From immersive experiences to global expansion, hospitality brands redefine what it means to travel well. In this next story, we speak to William Heinecke, the man behind the Anantara brand, to understand how global travel is adapting to a changing world. From the beaches of Thailand to palace hotels in India and luxury escapes across continents, Anantara has grown into one of the world's most recognizable luxury hospitality brands. Built under Minor International, the group today spans dozens of countries, offering curated experiences that go far beyond just a hotel stay. At the heart of this global empire is William Heinecke, a self-made entrepreneur who began his journey as a teenager and went on to build one of Asia's largest hospitality and lifestyle companies. But in a world shaped by shifting traveler expectations, global conflicts and digital influence, what defines luxury today?
Whenever people talk about luxury travel, whenever people talk about having luxury sort of experience, Anantara always comes to people's mind. So how do you see how the luxury travel demand has changed over the past decade? Do you really see that difference?
Yes, there is. There's no question that today's traveler is looking for more experiences in his travel. He's looking for things to discover. Foodies have found it very exciting right now because they travel for food. A lot of the Gen Z are looking at these kinds of experiences. People travel for wellness now. So all of these things are adding up to changing the way travelers used to be. And Anantara is on the cutting edge of that because we've gone into wellness. We've always focused on food and we've always focused on experiences. And we're in so many unusual locations that create and give those experiences.
So several of the Anantara properties have also been featured in the White Lotus. So has that pop culture really influenced the travel demand and branding destinations?
Absolutely. We've seen Thailand appears much more frequently now in as following the successful release of the White Lotus. And Samui particularly came out of that with a very high demand. But we also had hotels even from Phuket. And White Lotus, the White Lotus Hotel as depicted in that series, was made up of several hotels, three of them being Anantaras and another one being the Four Seasons. And so all of them came together to make the White Lotus Hotel. But it's had a huge impact on audiences and the demand for travel to Samui and to Thailand in general.
Increasingly, what drives travel decisions isn't just brochures or reviews, it is storytelling. The White Lotus has turned luxury resorts into global icons, with destinations seeing surges in demand after being featured on screen. These series often show locations during the best of times. But what happens when there is tension in the region?
With the recent conflicts like the Thailand-Cambodia, do you really feel that the travelers are becoming more cautious towards experience-driven traveling per se?
I think, the Thai-Cambodian is really more of a border conflict and really had very little impact on tourism between the two countries. Cambodia is still wide open for travel. We have an Anantara in Siem Reap, where Angkor Wat is. We have a number of hotels in the northern part of Thailand. None of them were really seriously affected by the war.
How important is the Indian traveler for your global portfolio?
Well, it's been a very important thing. We've hosted many Indian weddings, and that's probably helped us with our image here in India and helped to make us a more common byword in terms of hotel and hospitality. So it's been a very important part of our whole journey. And today, India represents one of the biggest inbound tourists for us. And as a result of the success of those inbound Indian tourists, it's drawn the demand for us to come to India.
So you also recently opened one in Jaipur. How the response has been, and if you compare it with a decade ago, how do you see that experience entirely?
I think Jaipur for us was a first step into India, and certainly in a destination which is well loved both from the MICE market and wedding market, and as well as tourists who love to see Jaipur, which is typically an experience-driven destination. So it was very good for us, and it set the pace. And many of our owners have seen that, as well as the other Anantaras around the region and in the area, and that's really helped drive the interest in Anantara and even in Avani, which is one of our other brands.
Considering, sir, many decades of you being in this journey, do you really see a shift from traditional based tourism to more like cultural, immersive, or wellness focused tourism per se?
Absolutely. The younger generation today is very interested in those experiences, those unique experiences. They're traveling for a reason. You know, today you'll find many young people, they're avoiding making big purchases of houses or whatnot because they'd rather spend their money on travel and other kinds of experiences. So definitely there's been a significant change in the last 10 years of the traveler of today.
From wellness retreats to cultural immersion, travel is becoming less about escape and more about enrichment. A journey is now a story and an experience that stays long after the trip ends. From a single resort in Thailand to a global hospitality footprint, the journey of Anantara reflects a larger transformation in travel itself. In a world that feels increasingly uncertain, one thing is clear: travel is no longer just about where you go, but how deeply you experience it.